should be dynamite when the Tar Heels host Richmond coming up this weekend as Bill Belichick and company hope to actually impress somebody with their brand of football. We are 0 for 2, even though they did win the game in Charlotte on Saturday. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. You hear him every day on the station you might be listening to right now at EVCO Radio, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Have you been paying attention to games 1 and 2 of the Bill Belichick regime?
Well, first of all, always a pleasure. You know I love coming on with you.
Always.
And obviously you guys have been amazing to us, so I genuinely appreciate that. Yes, very much so in week 1. Less in week 2. I'm not going to lie about that because I happened to be traveling with my family this past weekend, so I was less so paying attention to that. But a win's a win, 20-3 over Charlotte. I'll take it as a Belichick truther. But, yeah, I mean, how could I not be all in on Coach Belichick? Let's go. I'm just going to remember, Adam, the first drive of the season and not acknowledge that anything else has happened since then.
Best team in college football on opening drives. They were 3 completions and a touchdown against Charlotte. It was 7-0, and I really thought we were on our way to like a 56-0 score. Charlotte, unfortunately, and bless these guys. I know they want the program to be good. Charlotte's a great football city. They play in a high school stadium, basically. But Charlotte's basically a high school team. I really thought North Carolina was going to blow them out. But after that opening drive, it was very much the same formula we saw against TCU, except that Charlotte wasn't good enough to take advantage of it.
Adam, I'm on to Richmond. I'm on to Richmond. That's what I am. I'm just on to Richmond.
It's perfect. Like I said, I said to everybody, we're not really going to learn about this team in a positive way until maybe the game against Central Florida and maybe the game against Clemson. But Clemson has some other issues that they've got to work out.
I would make an argument. I don't think we learn about Bill Belichick's regime at UNC until next season. Because I don't think
that is the right argument, by the way.
That's right. I'm glad you and I agree on an opinion that is correct. Yeah. But if you and I both have it, it must be right. Because we've never gotten anything wrong in all of our years of doing radio. So here's why I say that. Let's pretend Bill Belichick's name was Adam Gold, okay? And let's pretend he got the job when he got the job, late in the process. Let's pretend he was new to college football, but certainly resume-wise, worthy of hiring, okay? And let's pretend he's at this unbelievable institution that has an insane history of basketball, in a great state to work and live, and football players that have been amazing, but not teams that have been amazing. Would we ever expect in the NIL era that person to be good immediately, or would we say they will use the year to scout the nation, stockpile their list and their money to go and get the incoming free agents for next year? Because the problem here is the name Bill Belichick. That is what has, and that's not actually a problem, but hear me out. Hopefully that's not taken out of context. The problem is the name Bill Belichick relative to we're not going to give him time because he's Bill Belichick, yet conversely, we're only interested because he's Bill Belichick. So to answer your question, when do we start to learn about this program? It's next year when he actually knows what he walked into here and who to go get to help him. That's when we should be talking about this in terms of judging Coach Belichick.
I agree with you, and I said at the very beginning that this year was just the foundation for what's coming next. But the problem is the way the contract is written, people automatically assumed that there were many people who didn't think he would coach a game because the contract dropped to a $1 million buyout on June 1 as opposed to $10 million prior to that. And people just assumed he was going to leave, that the whole thing was a scam to get his son Steven the head coaching job. I think he's going to be here. The long haul is a kind of a strange thing to say. I think he's going to be here for at least 3 years until he doesn't want to coach anymore.
Adam, here's the interesting part of this.
Sure.
The best thing that can happen long term to UNC football is for this year to be just fine at best. What do I mean by that? let's say all of a sudden they win 9 or 10 games this year. Let's then say,
not going to.
Well, no, but hold on, hear me out on this. Obviously, right? Let's say they win 9 or 10 games this year, and then let's say that he turns this thing around in the way that is disciplined and his team is doing phenomenally off the field academically, and all of his off the field stuff is not paid attention to by others in terms of his personal life and all these things. You don't think that all of a sudden, if he has that let's say, I don't know, the man that runs the station, Brian Groovy, we know he grew up as a Giants fan, right? I guarantee his franchise would then come calling if Brian Daboll doesn't do well with the Giants. Like, I'm just saying he'd be back in the NFL landscape potentially if everything goes perfectly. But let's say everything's fine. They win 7 games this year. NFL teams, while I believe they should be calling, they won't be. And what does that mean? That means he doubles down on UNC and gets the players that they need for next year.
The idea about the Giants, I mean, I guess we do have somewhat of a softening in ownership now. They have opened that up to other voices. I don't know that it's just the Maras basically making the choices anymore. I don't know. There was an opening to bring him in this past year, and they obviously opted out of that. But all right, let me move on. By the way, he is allowed in the Patriots facilities now, according to Mike Vrabel. I didn't understand the pettiness.
Yeah, he was that thing was so back and forth ridiculous. Oh my God.
This is great because I want to hot take this. Who is the best team in the NFL after week 1?
All right, well, I'm going to give you a hot take that you're not going to like, and everybody's not going to like, because they lost week 1, and they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. I'm still going to take the Kansas City Chiefs always. Always. I'm not going to not take the Kansas City Chiefs, and in many ways it's because of the guy we just mentioned. Because we did this every year with Brady and Belichick, and everybody wanted to find other people to pick, and we just should have picked them the entire time. So I think there's only 2 right answers through 1 week. The Eagles or the Chiefs. Okay. That's it. Now, that's different than who's playing the best through 1 week, but this drives me nuts. I mean, you'll probably experience this so often where Duke and UNC would come back into a season after winning a championship, and everybody would try to find everyone else to pick. And even if Duke and UNC didn't win it all that year, they still should be looked at as the favorites if they're running everybody back. Why am I screaming? I don't know, but this gets me bothered.
All right, well, I don't even have, and this is kind of a preview of what I'm going to do later. I do top 5 and bottom 5 after every week. I don't even have the Chiefs in my top 5, let alone number 1.
Nobody does. Nobody does. But, Adam, let me ask you a question. Right now, if I said to you, pick the Super Bowl winner this year, who are you going to pick?
You want me to give away my number 1 team? Yes.
Hold on.
Green Bay Packers.
No, I don't. Wait a second.
I already did. I just gave it away.
Maybe we're thinking about this differently. No, but maybe we're thinking about this differently. Your number 1 team through 1 week is not necessarily the team you think is going to win the Super Bowl. That may just be the team that you think, I saw the body of work for 4 quarters. That is the team that I believe right this second on September 9th is the best team in the NFL. That doesn't mean you're saying they're going to be the last team standing in February.
Well, in some cases it might not, but in this case, I think it is. I think Green Bay's the best team. I think Micah Parsons leads them into a Super Bowl just to rub Jerry Jones' face in it.
And you may be right. And we're going to be there on Thursday night. We're doing our show from Wisconsin on Thursday and Friday of this week, and we're going, Unsportsmanlike is to Lambeau for that game. But I guess my point is we all are really excited to give out this crown of best team, and yet we just think because Mahomes had a bad game or the Chiefs had a bad game that they're like not the team, and that to me is just odd.
You don't think they have flaws? Because I think they have offensive flaws.
Of course they do.
As great as Mahomes is.
But Adam, what I go to, and maybe I'm going to be wrong, but what I go to is the thought process of, all right, so here are the three things that have gone wrong with the Chiefs. They're going to go and find people to fix those because what the hell do they care about future picks? You know, the Eagles made 2 big acquisitions this week alone. I mean, think about it. They signed Darius Smith as a big-time pass rusher, or was in his career, and they just traded for Tank Bigsby from the Jaguars, a running back who had 7 rushing touchdowns last year. They just give up future late-round picks. What do they care? They're in win-now mode.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm projecting out still the Chiefs until otherwise proven, because all of the issues that you're going to bring up, which I'm sure are going to be correct, I just think they'll fix.
Well, they may. And if they fix those and it looks like they're fixed on the field, like I don't think the Chiefs are like the 13th best team in the league. I just don't have them in the top 5 based on what I saw Friday night. I don't have the Chargers in my top 5 either, by the way. But look, I think the Chiefs have the best quarterback. And I don't care what he looks like. He's the best quarterback. I don't know that the pieces around him are as good as they need to be, as reliable as they need to be. We already have Xavier Worthy hurt. Travis Kelce's clearly coming to the end. Plus, I think he's going to release his first album under Taylor Swift's label, which I don't know if she even has a label.
Do you believe this, that Taylor Swift is so good and so talented that if Travis Kelce was on a track, that we would think he's good?
No, but we would accept.
Rapping,
the Swifties would accept it.
Well, I just assume like her level of talent is so through the roof, and her business acumen is so through the roof that I just like she's one of these like blind benefit of the doubt people for me now. Like after listening to a lot of the podcast with Travis, like she's a blind benefit of the doubt person. Like, all right, you know, like she's just gonna figure it out. She's gonna figure it out.
I think we spoke about that podcast maybe the last time. I found the whole thing's fascinating, and I also found like his love of sourdough bread, and her love of sourdough bread. Also
the
fascinating.
Top bread out there, like because I like rye, rye, marble rye. What's focaccia? Probably better than sourdough, right?
Well, focaccia is a style of bread as opposed to a type of bread.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
Focaccia it's like a style. You can put whatever you want in focaccia. It's more of a style of bread than it is a type of bread. You could, I mean, if you wanted to, I have not seen it. You could make focaccia with rye.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure. You can. Yeah, focaccia is just the style.
What is the style? It's like the shape of it.
Yeah, focaccia is like a flat.
This is really important.
Focaccia is a flat bread. It's like a flat. It's almost like the crust of deep dish. Smallman will know about deep dish pizza, which is too much bread.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's lasagna to me. Wait a minute, I just looked it up on Wikipedia. Focaccia is a flat leavened. Why is this night different than any other night? Baked Italian bread. In Rome, it is similar to the type of flatbread. That's what I always thought it was the type of.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's just a style. You learn something new every day.
I never knew that. So you're saying a focaccia is the same thing as a roll, and then you would indicate the type of roll. Like, I'm going to get a sourdough roll, a wheat roll. Wow. So you could have wheat focaccia, sourdough focaccia.
If you wanted to, you could do whatever you want. But you can put any ingredients you want.
Like the olive oil and like the green thing on it, whatever that is. Like the what is that called? I don't know. Whatever that, the dill or something on it, maybe basil, dill, whatever.
Probably not dill. Yeah, probably basil.
Wow, this is very important.
I'm happy to educate. I am happy to educate Evan Cohen. By the way, before I have to let you go. The conversation with Dan Orlovsky about mass bar mitzvahs was hysterical.
Oh my God, was that not unbelievable?
We didn't have those
people I sent that to. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've told this story, and I'll do it quickly here. I invited Richard Todd to my bar mitzvah when I was a kid.
Quarterback. Wow.
Yep, and he actually gave me a handwritten response. I mean, obviously, Saturday night, he can't come, game the next day. But we framed the RSVP, and we were season ticket holders to the Jets at the time, and they had a Monday night game against the Vikings later that year. We brought that invitation or the RSVP in the frame with us to the game, which I can't believe they let you bring it in. And we gave it to a security guard who went over and showed it to Richard. He came over and said hi and talked to us for a couple of minutes during the warm-up. Nobody can tell me Richard Todd wasn't a great quarterback for a second. He is one of my all-timers from that story.
Okay, I have many observations. Okay, first of all, the fact that you invited Richard Todd to your bar mitzvah is amazing. Second,
yep.
Keep track of these observations here, please. Let's keep track of all of them. So if the invite is 1. 2, you just set it up as saying he didn't go to a random 13-year-old's bar mitzvah because it was Saturday night during football season. As if it was Friday night during non-football season, he would have gone at that point. Which is
I think he would have.
I think he would have. That's why he didn't go. Okay, third, what a great observation by you. How in their right mind did they allow a glass-framed object into a stadium? Now, we need to, and many radio stations do this, I'm sure. 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh is one of the best in the country, probably has done similar things like this. Give away the clear bags for people to bring into stadiums because you can't have the bags that you can't see through for security. Then you could have the Mona Lisa framed and walk it in, which is unbelievable. That is mind-boggling. And then somehow you got close enough, there's a fourth observation, somehow you got close enough to the active starting quarterback for a team after a game to bring them a frame to prove, hey, we're the people that you sent this to. What's interesting is, my top 4 observations, none of them included, which I guess I should have, the fact that he wrote you back, which is a wonderful job. And I guarantee you, there are so many fans listening to your show right now that have this exact same type of story, maybe not with the bar mitzvah, the exact same type of story as to why they became a fan of a certain player or why they didn't. For example, I went to a Mets game early on in life. They were playing the Cardinals, and there was a first baseman you'll remember by the name of Pedro Guerrero on the Cardinals.
Sure. Yeah.
We go there very early, friends and I. We're sitting there. We got all the way down, snuck all the way down behind the dugout. The dugout, like the top of the dugout was flat, even with the first couple of rows of the stadium. We rolled him a ball to sign. He rolled it back to us without signing it. I was always rooting for him to strike out after that. That's my anti-Richard Todd moment with Pedro Guerrero.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Well, next time we'll just trade stories like this.
When are we doing our North Carolina basketball random player trivia? We've been hyping this for years now at this point.
Well, basketball's, like less than a month and a half away, so we'll have to do it very soon, next time we talk.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
You're the best. Evan Cohen. I appreciate your time, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Always. Thank you as always. I appreciate it.